Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports. Tell me, where is Jim Harbaugh right now as you and I are talking? Where is he?
Well, he's en route to, I guess if it's after 10 o'clock a.m. our time, he's up in the air.
You
and he's
sure about that?
On a private jet. I don't know what time it is right now. Rick.
It is 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific. So
he and his wife are scheduled to be leaving on a private jet to Ann Arbor.
Do we know if he's literally on that plane though, Bruce? Because I mean, until it's tell me something I need to know that this is done. This is done, like signed on the dotted line, done. As far as you know.
I mean, everything I've been told, including from people on the Michigan side, is that they're set to have an announcement midday tomorrow, Tuesday, to be that he is the new head coach. Now, could anything wild happen? You know, like some offer? I don't know. I guess it's possible, but I think it's so remote at this point because everything I've been told, and this goes back even to Saturday, that he is. You know, accepted the job. I think there's too many things in place for him to back out now. And I know that he walked down the road with Michigan a few years ago, but he didn't get anywhere near this far into it with them. I think, you know, his family is committed to the move. I just don't see him flipping to go now. And I don't even know how, you know, I think it would be hard to him there has to be something kind of connected for the 49ers to go, okay, we're not going to take anything for him, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a 180 at the last minute. To me, that sounds that doesn't add up.
So where do we place in the equation then, Bruce? The reports that he's going to have a chat with the Raiders today, and that the Bears are going to be calling him up, and that in past years he has told somebody I'm in, and then still negotiated throughout the process, that this would be something that is par for the Jim Harbaugh course.
I just can't see that he would get this far down the road with Michigan this time. I mean, this is a different one than the other times because it's become so public. I think it's also people close to Jim Harbaugh. He has told that they are planning on the move. I think, you know, he may listen to them just because these are, you know, some of the relationships, whether it's with the Raiders or not, that he's had.
Right.
But I just don't see him backing out. Because there's just too much. I just think he's too far in, and not only that, his family is too far in to back out now. From everything I've been told.
Okay, so Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports. Let's talk about then what, as far as you know, Harbaugh has been told by Michigan brass about how the bells and whistles that will be at his disposal to recruit, the bells and whistles that will be at his disposal. For playbooks, using tablets and things, like bringing Michigan in a way into the 21st century on par with, say, the Ohio State University, who they have to beat and just get past in order to get to a game like the one that you would be covering this week for Fox Sports.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's right. I mean, right now, Michigan, some of the resources, I think there was an attitude from the hierarchy at Michigan was, hey, we're Michigan, we don't need to do those things. Well, Alabama's doing them, Florida's doing them, LSU's doing them, USC, Oregon, those places are. And once Urban Meyer brought the Big Ten up to speed, you got to keep up because Urban Meyer's set to dominate the Big Ten, and I think Michigan knew it needed to make a home run hire to compete with Urban Meyer, and that's Jim Harbaugh. It's nobody else but Jim Harbaugh, and that's why I think you see all these the commitments. Now, will they go to the level, let's say, and give him the control that Nick Saban has at Alabama? No, I don't think Michigan, the president, I don't think they would sign off on some of those things. But by and large, I think, you know, this is Michigan saying, hey, we got to get serious about playing big-time college football again.
What are those, quote-unquote, those things that Alabama, that Nick Saban has that you say that Michigan wouldn't give to Harbaugh or other schools aren't comfortable giving to their head coach?
I think one of those things, I think, you know, it's almost like the flexibility to have everything under you. I don't want to say that, like, compliance, you know, the compliance department reports to some of the top, you know, SEC programs, but in some regards it feels like that. I mean, you know, the thing that Rich Rodriguez got dinged for with the NCAA, I mean, that's something that's pretty commonplace at most other top 25 programs. You know, so in regards of people getting, I would say, getting in the way of of the business of big-time college football. I don't want to say it as straight as that, but that's kind of, part of it. I think there'll be issues about, what are called at some schools presidentials, which are special admits, where kids who aren't anywhere near the academic criteria for a lot of these, for let's say a Michigan, and they may take them because other schools are recruiting them. I don't know if you'll get the same kind of flexibility that a lot of other top college football programs have. Jim Harbaugh didn't have that at Stanford. I mean, Stanford's the elite academics, school in terms of big-time college football now, but that's rare. I don't see Michigan bending much on that, but that's one of the things that, you're not on necessarily a level playing field for some of the teams that you're going to be watching in these big powerhouse bowls in the next week and a half.
Before we get to those, I want to, Bruce Feldman of Fox Sports, hit you up on the subject of everybody saying that when Michigan makes this hire, that's it for big-time college football programs looking for a head coach, unless the NFL goes into the college ranks and gets somebody. Who might that somebody be? Could it be Gus Malzahn? What about also,
I don't think it's Gus Malzahn. I think it might be, an old buddy of yours who lives out in Los Angeles and coaches for the Bruins. I think Jim Mora is probably be the most likely person to be chased and to have to look at this, his situation of, is the timing right in the NFL? I mean, look, I think Jim Mora has done a really good job at UCLA. They have handled USC and pretty much dominated the rivalry since they've been there. The thing is, he wins at the end of the year on the field, and then he loses on signing day a couple months later. And USC now is off the sanctions. They have more scholarships than they had the last few years. So I think it's tough. Brett Hundley, his quarterback, is moving on to the NFL, so there's going to be a little bit of a rebuilding effort.
Doesn't he have a stud, though? Doesn't he have a stud? This kid Rosen, doesn't he have a stud there?
He is. I mean, Josh Rosen's an early enrollee kid. He's got awesome physical talent, but he is a kid, and to expect him to just jump in as a true freshman, that's especially in an offense like that in a conference where people are really good on offense. I think that's a stretch to expect there wouldn't be some drop off. So, I'm not saying, Jim Mora is going to run to an NFL job, but I think, some of these, whether it's the 49ers or some of these other places, if they pursued him, I think you would have to listen. Because, I mean, UCLA doesn't have the same resources, facilities-wise or in a lot of ways, that, let's say, USC certainly, and a lot of other places in the Pac-12 have.
Bruce Feldman, Fox Sports, you're in town. As always, you're here for the Rose Bowl as well. You're at the Rose Bowl press conference, and everybody's expecting. It's possible that we are seeing the top two picks in this upcoming draft at quarterback play against one another, with Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota for Oregon. And so my question for you is, what do you see playing out in this game? Is this that sort of preview for NFL fans to tune in and watch this game?
I think it is. I mean, I think you have the two last Heisman Trophy winners. They're terrific quarterbacks. Both guys who are athletic enough. Mariota's a much better athlete in terms of more of a he can go 80 yards with it as a runner. Jameis Winston is a graduate level passer. He does take some more chances this year than he probably did last year with the ball. With the ball, trying to force it into places. But I think what you're going to see here, Florida State has won 29 in a row, and they are almost a double-digit underdog, even though Oregon is missing their All-American cornerback. I think Florida State's going to win this game. It's just from being around these teams for a couple of days, the confidence that Florida State has, especially starting with its leader, Jameis Winston, is, you can feel it around them. It feels like one of those old, great USC teams, and I think that I think people have not given them the credit they deserve, and this is the healthiest Florida State has been all season, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, that's the way these things go, man. I mean, after their last game in a bowl game, it's usually a full month. I mean, freshmen become sophomores, technically, between these games. That's why
it's true, except for, Oregon lost their best defensive player, in the first week of bowl practice. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Bruce, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. So you're telling me to just relax? You're sort of like my Aaron Rodgers here. I should relax.
I am. I felt for you when somebody tweeted at you that you might end up with Charlie Weiss on your coach as your head coach.
I did shriek out loud. I scared my children when I saw that tweet.
I thought you might have vomited on the keyboard. It was such
No, that was my oldest son.
image.
That was my oldest son. He's got a stomach bug, or he did. Hey, Bruce, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, Rich.
You bet. That's Bruce Feldman, Fox Sports, telling me to stand down, telling me to relax. Jimmy's coming
The
home.
Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.